And this must have just been before the recession kind of kicked off, right? Because I remember being told very inspirational things. Me and the 200 odd other psychology graduates at my university that day were being told things like, live your dreams, man, yeah. Fulfill your ambitions. You guys are our future. And I thought, yeah, that's true. I am going to go and fulfill my dreams. Luckily for me, the biggest ambition I had at that precise moment in my life was to move to the city of Glasgow. Yeah! So you can only imagine where I was living previously if that was the biggest dream that I had. So I did. I moved to Glasgow without much thought of how I was actually going to fund this. So I moved and I got a job, as so many graduates do, working in a call centre. Yeah, we've all been there, right? So but it wasn't a normal, kind of typical call centre. I wasn't one of the wankers who phone you up when you're just sat down to your tea. Hi sir, this isn't a sales call. I was just wondering the last time you had your kitchen refitted. Okay, if this isn't a sales call, you're a weirdo and I'm going to hang up anyway. So, no, I was actually working for helplines. So in my case, the wankers phoning up were actually the callers to the call centre. Bit of role reversal. So it was drugs, alcohol and sexual health helplines that I was working for. There's a whole comedy set in that in itself, but we'll save that for perhaps another day. So at my most desperate, I was working 50 hours a week in this call centre. 1 minute I'd be taking a call from a mother who was concerned that her 15-year-old son, who'd tried cannabis once, might end up on smack by next Friday. I was the one that had to reassure her that it's probably unlikely that that's going to happen. The next minute I would maybe get a call from someone, perhaps a man, who would care to explain to me in explicit graphic detail what he got up to at the office party the night before, and is he now at risk of catching chlamydia? Yeah, probably. So obviously, working this kind of job, I needed, me and a computer screen, and the crazies on the phone. I needed some sort of distraction. But the internet sites that I would usually look up, Facebook and YouTube, were kind of banned, funnily enough, by my office network, and they kind of frowned upon that. So they were blocked, so I had to be a bit more creative. So I was like, okay, what else can I do? I tried to teach myself sign language for a while, but that was soon banned because apparently I was distracting the other call handlers. So sign language learning was off the cards, even though I thought I was actually doing some good with my time. So then I discovered science blogs, which was really nice because after graduating, you kind of get excommunicated from the sort of literature of the journals. Suddenly you have to pay $25 to read a science article. Didn't have $25. So yeah, I discovered science blogs, and I soon found my few favourites. And whilst one day in December 2009, this is how much this article stuck out for me, a man called Ed Young, who writes a blog called Not Exactly Rocket Science, wrote an article on something that kind of changed my life, and the topic happened to be duck genitals. And that's duck as in quack and not dog as in woof, because I understand that people have problems with the accent. So, has anyone ever seen a duck penis? Yeah? Who wants to though? All mixed up, you're lying. And luckily for you, I had one. Well, I was going to actually show you the video, but I thought, anyone who wants to know about the video, come and see me after. I'll give you the link. This is a duck's penis, and my first reaction was like, what? Seriously? 97% of bird species don't have a penis. So what is a duck doing with one? And two, why does it look like that? So this is the article that Ed Young kind of covered. Someone got their hand up at the back?
We were just wondering, which end's which?
This would be attached to the duck. And this is where he ejaculates out of. Questions? Really? I centimetres. So basically, if there was a duck attached to this, it would be huge. It's like bigger than the body. So, yeah, so I was like, what is going on here? But apparently, the actual study that John was covering was, remember this was December 2009, and this is the first time that people had properly seen a duck's penis from a duck. This one's probably from a dead specimen, they kind of put them in. But this is the first time someone had masturbated a duck for science. What? So why does it look like this, okay? To answer that question, we might want to look at a duck vagina. And guess what? I have a picture of that too. The vagina is even more weird than the penis. Right, why is this? To answer this question even further, we need to look at the sort of mating habits, if you want to call it that, of ducks. So most duck species tend to pair off for a mating season into a male and female couple. And however, 1/3 of matings from most species of ducks are actually forced. Okay, so a male outside a pair bond will come and basically rape a female duck. 1 in 3 matings. However, only 3% of these matings result in a fertilised egg. Okay, so those numbers don't add up. And it's thought that this study sort of found that the vagina's kind of like a Pac-Man maze. There's a lot of dead ends, and there's one route to the oviduct, which is not an easy one to find. And you kind of need the female's sort of go ahead to get kind of right up there, for want of a better expression. So this is basically a co-evolutionary arms race that's going on here, right? The females are tired of getting kind of raped, and so they kind of, through the process of evolution, evolve this crazy maze vagina. And then, in response to that, over the course of evolution, the males have evolved this spirally penis that tries to get as far up as possible. But in the end, yay for ladies, the females can have the final say, which is kind of shown by the fact that only 3% of their eggs are fertilised by forced matings. This blew my mind, okay? And again, like I said before, I couldn't believe that it took us till the year December 2009, the very end of, when we sent man to the moon 40 years before. And I think that if we discovered this earlier, if someone had thought to wank off a duck into a test tube, then things might have turned out differently. For example, Disney might have had the common decency to put a pair of pants on Donald. Mickey Mouse has got pants, that's all I'm saying. Disney did not know about this. So, anyway, how this changed my life. Well, first of all, I became I became obsessed, I'm not going to lie, with duck penis took over my life. I'd be sitting in the pub and with friends, civilised as you can have in Glasgow, and it'd be like, oh, how's the family? Yeah, fine. How's work? Yeah, same old. You ever seen a duck's penis? You ever, duck's dick? You ever seen, have you ever seen a duck's knob? What? It looks like a corkscrew. No, it doesn't. It does. Shh. Get your phone out. And I'd show them that picture. And then it kind of got me explaining why it was like that. And it was funny, I enjoyed talking about it. And the kind of geek inside me hoped that they took something home from that conversation. Something about evolution and sexual selection. A lot, even if they just then knew that a duck had a penis when they didn't before, I'm happy with that. So shortly after reading that very article, I signed up to do a Masters in Evolution and Behaviour. Loved it. And then because throughout that Masters I really enjoyed talking about not just perverse things, like I did like talking about all aspects of science. I just found duck penis was a good kind of conversation starter to other important evolutionary theory things. So my supervisor at the time was like, why don't you look into a career of science communication? I thought, that sounds kind of sexy, I could do that, okay, that sounds good, that sounds fun. And so that brings me to where I am now. I'm doing a PhD in collaboration with Durham Uni and the Centre for Life in Newcastle in science communication and social learning. And that's the story of how I went from duck dick to doctorate.